Yo, yo, what's up, everyone? Dark Ramos here with the Volume Profile Nerd, here to go over the morning prep slash rundown for Wednesday, May 31st, 2023. So just a quick note, we do have data at 9:45 and 10 a.m. Eastern, so that's something I'll be keeping an eye on. We have Chicago PMI and Jolts. Chicago PMI at 9:45 and Jolts at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9:45 a.m. Eastern and 10 a.m. Eastern. So I'll jump into the morning prep. So the first thing I noticed kind of right off the gate is that we have a small gap down open on both ES and NQ, and we're below yesterday's value with overnight inventory mostly short after the big move down. So I wouldn't be too surprised if we had some overnight inventory correction early in the morning. But sellers are still okay as long as we're below yesterday's value. So that'll be a key upside reference for sellers. On ES, that's 420950. And on NQ, let me open it here. On NQ, that is 1438575. So both with a small gap down open. We'll see if we gap down at opening bell. We still have about an hour, so we could get back into yesterday's range before the bell. But currently, we do have small gap down opens on both ES and NQ. So goal for buyers on ES is to stay above the open and fill the gap here at the regular trading hours low. And then if acceptance above the regular trading hours low, eyes on the value area low here at 420950. And if acceptance back into yesterday's value, eyes on the previous day close and POC, which are relatively close to each other right here. And if acceptance above this, eyes on the overnight high. And if acceptance above the overnight high, eyes on the value area high. And if we get acceptance above yesterday's value, eyes on the regular trading hours high. No change for day plus buyers if we do not get above the regular trading hours high, which is quite a ways away. So it would be notable if that happens. But I'm not sure if that's the more likely scenario, as buyers would have to get back into yesterday's value. It could happen. You never know with buyers. Could be a quick daily high or low. So just keeping an eye out for that scenario. And failure at any of these levels, failure at the RTHL could be back at the overnight low, failure at the value area high, back to the RTHL, failure at the POC, previous day close, back to the value area high, failure at the overnight high, back to the PDC/POC, failure at the value area high, back to the overnight high, and failure at the RTH high could be back to the value area high. All right. So goal for sellers is to try for minimal gap fill and then find acceptance under the overnight low. But sellers, like I mentioned earlier, are still okay if under the value area low to try and build value lower. Buyers do want to get back into yesterday's value and maybe above to try for overlapping to higher value. But if sellers stay under here, we could try for lower value, and sellers would ideally like to stay under the value area low and find acceptance under the overnight low for confidence that we could continue to build value lower. All right, no change for day plus sellers without acceptance under the overnight low, as we made a new low in the overnight session, and cash market sellers want to affirm overnight sellers for conviction and continuation to the downside. But again, we do have quite a bit of a move from yesterday, and overnight inventory is mostly under the settle, so wouldn't be too surprised with some overnight inventory correction, maybe to the value area low initially. So that's something I'll be keeping an eye on. NQ is relatively similar. We are closer to getting back into yesterday's range. So goal for buyers on NQ is to find acceptance above the RTHL to fill the gap. And if acceptance above the regular trading hours low, eyes on the value area low. And goal for buyers would be to try to get back into yesterday's value, to try for overlapping to higher value if we get above the value area high. So if above the regular trading hours low, eyes on the value area low. And if acceptance above the value area low, we have the PDC, previous day close, shortly after. And if acceptance above the PDC, eyes on the overnight high. slash POC, which are relatively close to each other, fairly close, yeah, by maybe four or 5 points right here, pretty close. And if acceptance above the POC and overnight high, eyes on the value area high here at 14,470.50, and if acceptance above the value area high, eyes on the regular trading hours high. Any failures at these points, and we could be looking at the previous level, so failure at the RTHL could be the overnight low, failure at the value area low could be the RTHL, PDC, value area high, failure at the overnight high or POC, back to the previous day close, failure at the value area high, back to the POC slash overnight high, and failure at the RTH high could be back to the value area high. So no change for day plus buyers without getting acceptance above the regular trading hours high here. So yeah, that's goal for buyers. Goal for sellers is for minimal gap fill and to ideally stay below the value area low, or ideally minimal gap fill, but sellers are still okay to try and build value lower if we're below this value area low at 14,385.75. If we're below this, sellers could continue to build value lower. Sellers would want acceptance under the overnight low. So for sellers, either minimal gap fill to find acceptance under the overnight low and continue to press the issue, or, if buyers do manage to get to the value area low, sellers would want to hold this to then try to find acceptance under the regular trading hours low and the overnight low to continue to press the issue. So no change for day plus sellers if no acceptance under the overnight low, as we made a new low in the overnight session, and cash market sellers want to affirm the overnight sellers for a conviction in a move lower. Okay, so those are the day time frame references. So on ES, on the daily, we do have, we are approaching this value area low of the 729.81022 level at 419.50, yeah, roughly around that level. So it'll be notable to me if sellers can't get there, and then we get back to the POC. That'll be notable, but I'd be surprised if we don't get down to this level. We're only maybe 4 points away from that level at 419.50, yeah, about 4 points away. So if this level holds here, buyers should be looking back to the POC at 420.550, and if acceptance above this, we're looking at the value area high of this range at 424.650. If sellers manage to get under this value area low, we should be looking at the POC of the 21217.23 range right here at 417.975, and that range is from right over here. Okay, yep, this range here. Okay, so that's daily for ES. On NQ, for the dailies, fairly similar kind of setup in a way with the range. We are approaching the value area low of this 411, 421.22 range right down here at roughly 14,304. Will be notable if sellers don't get there. We're about 30 points away from that level. No, less than 30 points. That level is, 4,304. Yeah, about 22 points away from that level. It'll be notable if sellers don't get there. If this level holds, eyes on the POC at 14,362.50 for buyers. And if acceptance above this POC, eyes on the value area high at 14,578.75. If sellers manage to get acceptance below this value area low, we could be getting more convincingly back into Friday's candle, where we could, sellers could look to squeeze some buyers. So that'll be notable if we find acceptance under this. But we do have quite a bit quite a few 1 minute ranges before getting more convincingly into this candle, which I'll go over in a second. And the same on ES, if acceptance below this value area low, sellers could be looking to get more into this candle, which we already are more convincingly than NQ, but buyers could still hold here and not allow sellers to get fully into this candle on ES. So that's what I have for ES and NQ. I will be watching for ES. There's quite a few 1 minute ranges before getting more convincingly into Friday's candle. Again, ES is more into Friday's candle than NQ, but I am keeping an eye on a few small ranges down here from Friday, and it looks like, we're approaching this small range right here Yeah, this one. And yeah, I would think buyers would want to hold that. We're below a few ranges from Friday, so sellers are more convincingly into Friday's candle at the moment. But again, these two 1 minute ranges right here will be key for me. Otherwise, sellers could have a go at getting more convincingly or getting even more into Friday's candle on ES. On NQ, if we go to the 1 minute, there are a few ranges on the 1 minute that I'm going to keep an eye on. So let's go in here. So yeah, NQ is not as much into Friday's candle. I think sellers would want to hold this range here, and I'm actually going to drop because it is a bit of sideways right here. Yeah, this is a good one. I'm going to draw out this. Yeah, right there. Yeah, I kind of like that little bit of sideways. I think sellers would, or you know what? Let me just grab this whole thing right here. I like that. All right. Something like this. And basically it's the overnight low. The POC is the overnight low. So yeah. So if acceptance under the overnight low, we should be looking at this value area low of this range here. And yeah, and sellers would want to get through that and then through this range from Friday, and then we have a range lower from Friday. If below this last range here, I think sellers should have an easy go getting back into Friday's candle because there's not too many too much kind of significant sideways action here. So this kind of is the last resort, I feel, for buyers. If buyers can't hold this, then sellers should have more of a go into Friday's candle. But still quite a few ranges. This one here, this one, and then this last resort here for buyers. So if buyers hold any of these up here, and we're currently at this one, if buyers hold, this one, or this one, then, sellers wouldn't get as much into Friday's candle. And again, that value area low is roughly around 14,300. And let's see, 14,300 is, it would be, this small range here. So yeah, we're currently above this one. But if we get down to this one, I think this is where buyers would want to hold because it matches up with the value area low of that daily range at roughly, 14,300, 14,303. So I'll be keeping my eye out on this range down here as a potential area for buyers to hold if we get below, this current 1 minute range. Okay, so those are the day time frame references, the 1 minute and the daily. I'll quickly go over the hourlies using the day time frame references as well. So let's go in here and let's paste that in there. So let's see. Yeah, so buyers or sellers do want to get more convincingly into this range on ES. And let me see, what is the value area low here? 4191. Okay. Which we're currently approaching. So if no acceptance back into this, that means buyers are holding that daily value area low at roughly 4191. But if we do get acceptance into this, let's say to the POC, that could mean that sellers are trying to get below that value area low on the daily, but buyers could still hold this POC and maybe not find too much acceptance under that daily value area low. All right, and buyers want to get back into this range to get back into yesterday's range because this range is slightly above the RTH low and value area low POC. So buyers want acceptance back into this range to convincingly get back into yesterday's value and above the POC / PDC. And if we get to this POC of 822, 825.22, if we get to that POC, that would mean we are getting to the value area high. So that this POC roughly aligns with the value area high. So buyers do want acceptance above this to get above yesterday's value. And if we get above this POC, eyes on the value area high here, which is pretty much exactly the regular trading hours high here. So buyers definitely want back into this range to try for the value area high, which would mean like if we get back into it, we couldn't find acceptance under it, and buyers should try for the value area high, which would be the regular trading hours high, or first it would be the POC, and then the value area high. Okay, and buyers definitely want acceptance above this range and back into this 825.22 range, hourly range, to convincingly get above yesterday's range, and for day plus buyers to have some change as well. But this is a tall order to get to this value area high, but definitely not counting out the bulls, because I've seen them do some pretty kind of amazing things. So not counting it out for sure, but yeah, it is quite a ways away. So yeah, just keeping an eye on that. And yeah, so that's the hourlies for ES. Let's go to the day time frame references and the hourlies for NQ. So for NQ, we are getting more convincingly into this hourly range. So if sellers get down to this value area low, that could mean, they're getting convincingly under yesterday's range, which could be where sellers are trying to get to, because we couldn't find acceptance above this value area high and are now back within this range. But again, we do have some 1 minute ranges kind of in this area that sellers would need to get through to get more convincingly into Friday's candle. So yeah, just keeping an eye on that. Buyers do want acceptance above this range to head to the value area low of this range of the 419, 421 range, which would mean if we get acceptance back into this range, it would mean we're getting back into yesterday's value. If acceptance above here, like here, we're back in yesterday's value, and buyers want convincingly above this POC, because this POC matches up pretty much with the POC of yesterday and the overnight high. So if acceptance above this POC, it would mean we're getting above the POC and overnight high of yesterday here. And if acceptance above this POC, we have the value area high shortly after. So that's another area where buyers would want to get through, which is just a few more points above, maybe like 10 more points above. So if buyers can get above this value area high, eyes on the regular trading hours high, or this value area high of this 419, 421 range at roughly 13,541, which is relatively close to the regular trading hours high. It's about 20 points away. So if we get above this range here, buyers should be looking for the regular trading hours high, which is about 20 points above it. If no acceptance above the regular trading hours high and we get back into this range, that would be notable, and it could mean sellers are trying again for this POC down here. But if we do find acceptance above this value area high and the RTH high, eyes on the value area low of this 318, 322 range at roughly 14,633.25. All right, so those are the day time frame references for both ES and NQ and what buyers and sellers should be looking for. Again, kind of my ruling reason for this morning are the 1 minute ranges here on NQ to see if sellers can get convincingly under these ranges. And if not, then, I think buyers could be setting up a quick daily higher low, maybe a daily bull flag, because buyers, that Friday candle was pretty convincing for buyers. So maybe buyers are looking to step into the market. But yeah, so let me see. So yeah, I'm going to definitely keep an eye on these 1 minute ranges here. So this is going to be kind of my ruling reason for today, and the value area low on the daily. So these small ranges here before getting convincingly into Friday's candle, and this value area low here, daily value area low here for NQ, at roughly 14,303, 14,304. And same with ES, we are approaching daily value area low at roughly 419,150. And again, I'm going to be keeping an eye on ES. ES is, yeah, as I mentioned, a bit more convincingly into Friday's candle, but we still have a few ranges to contend with. These two down here. Yep, so buyers definitely want to hold this little range here to hold the value area low of the daily, which, you know, buyers should be stepping in fairly soon here if that's what they're going for. All right, and again, overnight inventory is net short, so wouldn't be surprised with some overnight inventory correction, and especially if we hold those daily value area lows in a few of the 1 minute ranges. But the thing that has me a little bit not concerned or whatever, but like, yeah, we're back into this hourly range, so maybe sellers look for this 22275 level, but one step at a time right now. I think for sellers, it's getting through, yeah, the 1 minute ranges I mentioned in this area here to get, yeah, into this candle. But yeah, see if buyers can hold, or maybe buyers or sellers get to this POC at 14,29150, which would mean 1429, yeah, which would mean we're getting to this little range here. So then this would be kind of, yeah, the last resort for buyers before getting convincingly back into, or before rotating to the value area low here at 14,22275. And if we get there, it means we're getting to a little bit underneath this range. So maybe we do get underneath and maybe not find acceptance. That's another possible scenario. But yeah, just keeping an open mind. Definitely a lot of different scenarios here, but yeah, definitely got some levels to be watching there for ES and NQ. So yeah, just we'll be scouting to see if we get a quick daily high or low, and with some 1 minute ranges and the different hourlies and hourly ranges and all that. We'll be looking at all that this morning. So a quick rundown of sectors in tech. So let's go ahead and quickly go through it. So yeah, SPY with a gap down open. We are below this POC, so maybe sellers are looking for the value area high here of this daily range, or this is it a daily range? Yeah, it is. This sideways action down here, but we do have, I would say this here first. Yeah, so maybe this value area high here. Let me just mark that up in blue. Okay, so maybe that's where sellers are looking to target down here at 415.08. Yeah, if we get more acceptance under this POC, which it looks like we are. QQQ should be looking for this value area high here of this daily range at roughly 345.87. I'm just going to mark it up here. And yeah, we're below. We're below this value area high of this little range here, right here. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if sellers get there first. XLF, yeah, so QQQ, yeah, did have a small gap down open. XLF, relative strength, holding the low of yesterday, but closer to it. And we do have the value area low here, which we held very well in yesterday's session, held this value area low of this daily range. IWM, small gap down open. I think sellers could be trying for this POC here at roughly 17372. XLE, bigger gap down open, but we are approaching this daily value area low. I think if buyers hold this here, we should be looking back to the POC at 7703. And if above this, we should be looking at the value area high here at 7932. Yep. XBI, Yeah, XBI is oscillating around this POC. Buyers want this value area high at roughly 83.66. Sellers want the value area low at 82.09. We did have a quick daily lower high, so maybe sellers are looking for this 82.09 level. And XBI showing a little relative strength here, or kind of in the middle, no, closer to the low of yesterday. And XLE, yeah, gap down open. XBI closer to the low of yesterday. XLV, closer to the low of yesterday, but I guess a little bit stronger than other sectors where we have more space above the low of yesterday. We are under this POC though, this daily POC. Sellers should be looking for the value area low here at roughly 12538. But if buyers get back to this POC at 12705 and find acceptance above, we could be heading to the value area high here at roughly 12782. Yep. All right. But XLV has not, got a very quick daily lower high, which is kind of notable. So maybe, I don't know, maybe sellers get down here to this value area low first, and then buyers step in. We shall see. Or buyers find acceptance above this POC to head to this value area high, or the high of yesterday. XLU is kind of in the middle of the row. No, closer to the low of yesterday. Sellers did get back into this daily range, so maybe they're looking for the POC at roughly 63.69. So I think sellers should be looking for that. If sellers don't get acceptance back into this range and get above this daily value area high at roughly 64.66, eyes on 64.65, it could be maybe like a inverse head and shoulders type of deal. And then, if they get acceptance above this, eyes on the value area low of this daily range at roughly 64.99 here. And then buyers should be looking to target this POC here of this daily range at 65.92. And see if XLU can start a daily bounce going. Hasn't had a convincing one in a few days or in quite a while. XLU's been pretty weak. SMH, so notable, SMH did try to get to this POC but couldn't at 152.44. That's notable to me because semiconductors have been the strongest names lately. So possible scenario I'll be looking out for is a pullback and a hold of the low of yesterday, or a pullback to the low, a bounce to the low of yesterday to then head to this value area high here of this daily range. Of this daily range right here at roughly 140.59. So that's notable to me. I will be keeping an eye on that for a possible scenario, something like this, for a quick hourly lower high to then maybe head lower. So going to keep an eye on SMH for sure. If buyers find acceptance back above this value area high, eyes back on the POC at 152.44. All right, so that is sectors. So SMH standing out to me for potential scenarios and ideas that I'll be keeping an eye on. So QQQ and SPY, just really quick again. I think sellers should be looking for the value area high of this daily range on QQQ, and SPY could be looking to the value area high of this daily range, which again is from back here, this structure back here. Okay, so that's what I'm going to keep an eye on today. As far as tech, let's go over tech real quick. Apple closer to the low of yesterday. Apple's closer to the low of yesterday, and yesterday we just oscillated around this POC here at 177.18. We are finding a bit more acceptance under it here in pre-market. So it'll be notable if buyers attempt one more time for this POC and then we pull back. So that's a possible scenario I'll be keeping an eye on. If we do find acceptance above this POC, eyes on the value area high here, which is roughly the high of yesterday at the value area high is 179.08, and the high of yesterday is 178.99. Amazon under a daily value area high or value area low of this range. I think sellers should be looking for this value area high at roughly 118.26. But showing relative strength. Apple's closer to the low of yesterday. Amazon showing relative strength here in pre-market, being more in the middle of the range. But these daily ranges are a bit more, I'm not going to say more important, but I'm going to keep quite a close eye on them. This daily range and this daily range down here to see where, I think sellers should be trying for this, and it'll be notable if they don't get here and buyers get back into this range. So that's what I'll be keeping an eye on. Netflix, closer to the low of yesterday. We are above this daily range. I think I would need to draw up another daily range. Let's see. Yeah, I like this up here. This little cluster. Something like, yeah, like that. I like that little cluster. So let's just draw that up. All right, yeah, it made held quite a few times. So this is a very nice structure. We can see it held all here. 3 touches, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. And let's see where we are here. So we're currently under that structure. So I'm thinking sellers should be looking for the value area high of this daily range and maybe some oscillation here, or we get convincingly here. Well, we rejected from this POC, so I'm thinking sellers should be trying for this POC here at 379.77. Okay, Google. I'm already 32 minutes in. Google under this value area low here. I think sellers should be looking for this value area high at roughly 122.33, and Google a bit closer to the low of yesterday. Microsoft, notable that we got to this value area high here, pulled back from it. I think sellers should be looking for this value area low here at roughly 322.35. It'll be notable if we don't get there. Maybe buyers try one more crack at this POC. We shall see. But we are closer to kind of in the middle of the road, but a little bit closer to the low of yesterday. Meta should be tagging this value area low of this daily range at 258.70. If this level holds, eyes back on the POC at 264.15, and if acceptance above that, eyes on the value area high at 265.72. But Meta, relatively weaker tech name, opening closer to with a gap down open. Yeah, Meta with a gap down open. If acceptance below this, there's quite a bit of air here. I'd be keeping an eye on probably this cluster here. If we do get acceptance, maybe something like this. Yeah, if we do get acceptance under here, I'd be keeping an eye on this value area high at roughly 252.18 before getting more convincingly to this value area high of this daily range at 241.54. So yeah, just going to keep an eye on this. If we crack and no acceptance below here, buyers should be looking to get to the other side of value up here at 265.72. Okay, Tesla. Tesla is above this daily value area high. It is closer to the low of yesterday, but not gapping down. But yeah, it is a bit closer to the low of yesterday. And I think buyers have space for hourly higher lows. Buyers want to hold this value area high to tag this value area high of this value area high of this daily range here at roughly 206.56. Okay, so that's where I'm thinking buyers should be trying for, 206.56. If this value area high holds here at 197.99, if acceptance below this, eyes on the POC at 195.87, and if acceptance below that, eyes on the value area low at 190.16. Okay, NVDA still kind of in thin air here. Again, I'm going to keep an eye on, I drew this range in regular trading hours on the 15-minute, but I'm going to go ahead and draw it up here because I think it is relevant for today's session. Right here. And yeah, we're approaching it now. So I think, and we're not 5-minute oversold, not 15-minute, but yeah, if we get down there, we would be getting close to 15-minute oversold. So I would definitely keep an eye on that. Yeah, we'd be getting close to 15-minute oversold if we got there. An hourly oversold is at the value area low. So yeah, just something to keep an eye on. There we go. So yeah, we'll definitely be watching this range here. If sellers get into it and don't find acceptance into it and buyers hold it, a possible play could be something like this to at least get back to the low of yesterday. But yeah, that's all I got for NVDA. If below this range here, eyes on the, sellers could be looking to get back into this candle, into the big earnings reaction candle. And the value area high here is at 330.68. But again, that is quite a ways away. That is over 16% at this point, which is a tall order. But, this range here I think will be fairly telling. Maybe sellers try below it, don't find acceptance. And then I think possible plays could set up here if that's what the market does. All right, so that's all I got for this morning. Long prep, but where do we stand here on NQ, ES and NQ? NQ is holding this little range here, which the value area low of the daily, 13,304. Yeah, we didn't quite get there, so maybe we have one more leg down. But looks like buyers are trying to fill the gap here in the overnight session. And we held the value area low of this range. And on ES, we're holding the POC of this small range here. And yeah, we're holding that daily value area low almost to the tick. It was 219.150, I believe. And we got to 219.1. 219.12. So just shy of it. 4192, and the value area low I have here is 419.150. So by 2 ticks. So it'll be notable if buyers hold here. But we shall see. We shall see what the open looks like. We do have data at 9:45 a.m. Eastern and at 10 a.m. Eastern. All right, so that is my morning prep for this morning. Things I'll be looking out for. Thanks for watching, and I'll post my trade review a little bit later today. Thank you.